This bandsaw is a Charnwood B350. It has a cutting capacity of 14 inches by 9 inches. I got it after a friend of mine, Andy Elliott from West Cork Woodworks, recommended it to me, and it's working fine so far for what I'm looking for. The only thing I want to try and see if I can do is actually improve the dust extraction on it. It has a drawer in the bottom for collecting most of the heavy dust. It has a port in the back which you can hook up a 4-inch hose to it, but the actual hole going into the saw is still only 1 3/4 inches, so that reduces the amount the hose can actually take out. So I want to see if I can actually replace the drawer with my own drawer that I can actually attach a 4-inch hose to it, and see if that will actually improve the situation. Here's a closer look at the dust drawer. As you can see, it does a good enough job of collecting all the heavy dust, but there is also still a lot left in around the door and inside the actual compartment. At the back you can see where the 4-inch hose hooks up, but it's still only the 1 3/4 inch hole inside in it, so that reduces the amount the 4-inch can actually pull out. So I'm hoping to be able to replace this drawer with my own one with a hose coming up from underneath, so it should pull out most, if not all, of the dust that's inside here. Right, I've taken all the measurements and cut out all the pieces that I need. This 1/4-inch plywood is going to be the bottom of the drawer. I'm going to have to cut a 4-inch hole to accept this 45-degree webbing corner, and I have the pieces then for the actual sides. Right, first of all I'll find the centre of the bottom of the shelf. I'll mark the exact centre then for the hole to be cut. Draw out a 120mm hole, that's what's needed for the pipe. What I'm going to have to do now, you'll see later why, I'm going to have to rip this down through the centre before cutting the hole out. Right, what I've done here now is I've ripped the bottom of the drawer in half, and I've cut out the 2 halves of the circle that will accept the webbing pipe. Now I'm going to start putting the box together, starting off at the front. I'll be gluing and pinning this into place. Now that's the front. I'm going to be sticking on the 2 sides now, and I'm only sticking them to the front piece at the minute. Same on the other side. Flip it over and just tack it to the base. all we're doing for that piece for now. The other half of the drawer then, we stick this piece onto it. And nail it like the other side. Now these two parts I won't be putting together because I need to be able to slide these together once they're in place, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to be temporarily attaching the two halves of these together. I won't be using glue, I'll only be using a single screw from the front on either side. As you can see, that's after pulling the two halves together nicely. And now we'll test fit the pipe. As you can see, it fits in there nicely, but there's nothing actually holding it in place. So I'll be fixing in these little wedges front and back, and that'll keep it pinned down into place. I'll be gluing and nailing in these two pieces so that they're wedging in and clamping the sides of the corner for the webbing. Just watch your fingers on this piece. Same again this side, make sure that it's pushing down on the webbing and pin as before. And what that does then, it actually secures the webbing in place so that it won't move around and fall out. I'm going to be fitting a second 45-degree webbing corner onto the one that's already in the drawer. But as you can see, the hose fits in nicely, but it's still a bit loose. So what I'm after doing is I've cut in 4 slots in around it, and I'm going to put on a hose clamp. So now when I put the two together and tighten on the hose clamp, it holds it secure. so I don't have to worry about it falling out when I'm using it. To fit the new dust drawer, you have to take out the old one, put it aside. You have to dismantle the shelf that had been put together already. Slide in the back half. The new corner then, you slip it in from underneath and hold it in place. The front half then you fit, and as you push it in, it'll clamp on to the pipe, and then when you drive the screws in, it'll hold the pipe securely. Now this is why you had to make it in two halves, because if you had the pipe fixed into the original drawer, you would not be able to slide it into place. But now it's in and it's secure. All that's left to do is slip the suction hose into place and clamp down on the pipe, the band clamp. And that's holding secure now, so it won't fall out. Now with that new dust extraction installed, I'm going to test it out now, cutting up some rough 2x4 pine. We'll see how well it works. Now, as you can see, there is no dust at all inside the bottom compartment, and there's a lot less up on the table, so I think it's working fine. Here's a close-up look at the bottom compartment. As you could see, no dust at all in the bottom. It's all been sucked straight out and into the pipe. Now this is a closer look at the setup now. You have the extractor feeding in through the side of the stand into the two 45-degree bends and up into the bottom of the new drawer. Having it going in the side of the machine just makes it a lot handier than trying to route the pipe around the back to where the original outlet was, in my shop anyway. So hopefully this has given some of you some ideas now for your B350 bandsaw, and hope you enjoyed the video.